In the golden light of the Mediterranean sun, a city rose from the sands, a beacon of intellect, culture, and ambition. Alexandria, founded by Alexander the Great in 331 BCE, quickly became the heart of the Hellenistic world, place where the East met the West in a fusion of ideas. At its center stood a marvel unlike any other, the Library of Alexandria. This institution was not merely a repository of scrolls, but a living organism of human curiosity, a crucible for the exchange of knowledge that spanned continents and centuries. To walk through its halls was to brush shoulders with the greatest minds of antiquity, philosophers, mathematicians, astronomers, and poets, all drawn to this sanctuary of learning. Yet, what made the Library of Alexandria so extraordinary? Was it simply the vast collection of texts it housed, or was it something more profound? Some say it was the embodiment of humanity's insatiable thirst for understanding, a temple dedicated not to gods, but to the pursuit of truth. Others describe it as a microcosm of the cosmos itself, where every scroll represented a fragment of the universal order waiting to be deciphered. Whatever the case, the library loomed large in the ancient imagination, becoming both a symbol of intellectual achievement and a cautionary tale about the fragility of knowledge. Historical accounts paint a picture of an institution unparalleled, scope and ambition. Under the patronage of the Ptolemaic dynasty, the library sought to amass every written work in existence. Ships docking at Alexandria's bustling port were famously searched for books, which were then confiscated, copied, and returned, or so the legend goes. At its zenith, the library is said to have contained hundreds of thousands of scrolls, covering subjects as diverse as mathematics, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, and literature. It was here that Euclid formulated his geometric principles, Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference, and Archimedes explored the mysteries of physics. But the library was more than just a storehouse of information. It was a hub of innovation and discovery. Scholars from across the known world converged within its walls to debate, experiment, and collaborate. The Mausion, or Temple of the Muses, served as an academy where thinkers could dedicate themselves entirely to their studies, free from worldly concerns. This vibrant intellectual community fostered breakthroughs that shaped the course of human history. Despite its grandeur, much about the library remains shrouded in mystery. Its exact location, layout, and even its ultimate fate are subjects of debate among historians. What we do know is that the library did not exist in isolation. It was part of a broader cultural renaissance centered in Alexandria. The city's famed lighthouse, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, stood nearby, guiding travelers to this nexus of enlightenment. Together, these monuments formed a tapestry of human ingenuity, reflecting the boundless potential of collective wisdom. As we delve deeper into the story of the Library of Alexandria, we must ask ourselves, what forces shaped its creation, and why did it capture the imagination of generations? How did it influence the trajectory of human thought, and what lessons does it hold for us today? Prepare yourself for a journey into the heart of antiquity, a journey that reveals not only the triumphs of the library, but also the shadows that linger over its legacy. The Library of Alexandria was not a single monolithic institution, but rather a dynamic entity with multiple dimensions: intellectual, cultural, and symbolic. Its identity shifted depending on who interacted with it, from scholars and rulers to travelers and historians. To some, it was the pinnacle of human achievement, a repository of all knowledge known to antiquity. To others, it represented the fragility of wisdom, a cautionary tale about how easily progress can be undone by neglect or catastrophe. But what made this library so multifaceted? And why does its memory evoke such strong emotions even today? At its core, the Library of Alexandria served as the beating heart of the Mausion, a scholarly community dedicated to advancing human understanding. Founded under the patronage of Ptolemy the Soter, one of Alexander the Great's generals, The Mausyan, literally Shrine of the Muses, functioned as an academy where thinkers could pursue their studies free from material concerns. Scholars were provided with stipends, lodging, and access to resources unparalleled in scope and quality. This environment fostered collaboration across disciplines, creating fertile ground for breakthroughs that shaped the course of history. Figures like Euclid, Archimedes, Eratosthenes, and Hipparchus thrived within these walls, leaving behind legacies that continue to influence modern thought. Yet the library itself existed beyond the confines of its physical structure. It was also a symbol of ambition, an audacious attempt to collect every written work ever produced. Ships docking at Alexandria's port were famously searched for scrolls, which were then confiscated, copied, and returned, or so legend claims. At its height, the library is said to have housed hundreds of thousands of scrolls, covering topics ranging from philosophy and science to poetry and medicine. These texts came from diverse cultures, including Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Indian, and possibly even Chinese sources. In this sense, the library became more than just a storehouse of information. It was a bridge between civilizations, preserving and synthesizing global knowledge. But the library's identity extended further still. It was a hub of innovation and discovery. Scholars didn't merely read and catalog texts. They actively engaged with them, debating ideas, conducting experiments, and pushing the boundaries of human understanding. For example, Eratosthenes used geometric principles to calculate the Earth's circumference with remarkable accuracy. Herophilus conducted groundbreaking anatomical research, laying the foundation for modern medicine, and Aristarchus proposed a heliocentric model of the universe centuries before Copernicus. These achievements underscored the library's role as a crucible for intellectual advancement, where theory met practice and imagination merged with rigor. Despite its grandeur, much about the library remains shrouded in mystery. Historical accounts provide conflicting details about its exact location, layout, and ultimate fate. Some suggest it was part of the royal palace complex, while others place it near the Serapeum, a temple dedicated to the Greco-Egyptian god Serapis. Even its name varies across sources. Some refer to it simply as the library, while others distinguish between the Great Library and smaller satellite collections scattered throughout the city. Adding to the intrigue are the contradictions surrounding its destruction. Popular narratives often depict a single catastrophic event, such as Julius Caesar's accidental fire during his siege of Alexandria in 48 BCE. However, historical evidence suggests that the library's decline was likely gradual, spanning centuries, of political instability, budget cuts, and shifting priorities. By the time of the Arab conquest of Egypt in 642 CE, many believed the library had already ceased to exist in any meaningful form. Yet, the myth of its sudden demise persists, perhaps because it resonates with our collective fear of losing irreplaceable treasures. What makes the library's story particularly compelling is its transformation over time, from a tangible institution to a timeless archetype. Long after its physical presence faded, the library endured as a symbol of humanity's quest for knowledge. Writers, artists, and philosophers have invoked its name to inspire new generations of seekers. Dante Alighieri referenced it in The Divine Comedy, portraying it as a celestial archive of divine wisdom. Enlightenment thinkers saw it as a precursor to their efforts to organize and disseminate knowledge. And in the digital age, initiatives like Project Gutenberg and Wikipedia echo its mission to make information universally accessible. Perhaps most fascinating is the way the library has been reimagined in popular culture. From novels like Umberto, Echoes of the Name of the Rose, to films like Agora, the library continues to captivate audiences as a symbol of both intellectual triumph and tragic loss. Its image appears on everything from book covers to university logos, reminding us of the enduring power of shared knowledge. As researcher Jean Overton Fuller might observe, the Library of Alexandria represents far more than bricks and mortar. It embodies the aspirations and anxieties of humanity itself. Its legacy challenges us to consider what we value most. Is it the preservation of facts, the pursuit of truth, or the connections forged through shared learning? Whatever the answer, one thing is clear. The library's shadow stretches far beyond its original walls, casting light on questions that remain profoundly relevant today. The Library of Alexandria was more than just a repository of scrolls. It was a living organism pulsating with intellectual energy. Its inner workings reveal a sophisticated system designed not only to collect knowledge, but also to generate, preserve, and disseminate it across cultures and generations. At the heart of this grand endeavor stood the Mausion, or Temple of the Muses, a vibrant community of scholars supported by royal patronage. Together, these institutions formed an unparalleled center for learning, a crucible where ideas were forged, tested, and transformed into enduring legacies. The library's collection methods were as ambitious as they were ingenious. Ships docking at Alexandria's bustling port were famously searched for books, which were then confiscated, copied, and returned, or so the legend goes. This practice ensured that even passing travelers contributed to the library's ever-expanding archives. Over time, the library amassed hundreds of thousands of scrolls, covering subjects as diverse as mathematics, medicine, astronomy, philosophy, poetry, law, and engineering. These texts came from every corner of the known world: Greek epics, Egyptian papyri, Persian chronicles, Indian treatises, and possibly even Chinese manuscripts. Each scroll represented a fragment of humanity's collective wisdom, meticulously cataloged and preserved for posterity. Central to the library's operations was its classification system, devised by none other than Callimachus of Cyrene, one of its most celebrated librarians. Callimachus created the Pinnaces, a monumental catalog that organized works by genre, author, and subject matter. This innovation allowed scholars to navigate the vast collection with unprecedented efficiency, transforming the library into a hub of interdisciplinary research. Imagine walking through its halls, surrounded by shelves brimming with scrolls, each labeled and cross-referenced for easy retrieval. It was here that Euclid formulated his geometric principles, Eratosthenes calculated the Earth's circumference, and Aristarchus proposed a heliocentric model of the universe centuries before Copernicus. But the library was not merely a passive archive. It was a dynamic space where experimentation thrived. Scholars conducted groundbreaking research in fields ranging from anatomy to mechanics. For example, Herophilus, often called the father of anatomy, performed dissections that laid the foundation for modern medical science. Meanwhile, Ctesibius invented hydraulic devices like water clocks and pneumatic organs, demonstrating the practical applications of theoretical knowledge. The library's resources enabled thinkers to push the boundaries of human understanding, blending theory with hands-on experimentation. Equally remarkable was the library's role as a cultural mediator. By housing texts from diverse civilizations, it became a bridge between East and West, preserving and synthesizing global traditions. Translators played a crucial role in this process, rendering foreign works into Greek, the lingua franca of the Hellenistic world. One of the most famous examples is the Septuagint, a Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible commissioned by Ptolemy, Phraxu Philadelphus. This monumental project brought Jewish scripture to a wider audience, fostering dialogue between different religious and philosophical systems. Yet, the library's operations were not without challenges. Maintaining such a vast collection required immense resources, including funding, labor, and materials. Papyrus, the primary medium for writing, had to be imported in massive quantities, while skilled scribes worked tirelessly to copy and preserve fragile documents. Moreover, the library faced competition from rival institutions, such as the Library of Pergamon, which sought to amass its trove of knowledge. Despite these obstacles, the library remained a beacon of intellectual achievement, attracting luminaries, from across the ancient world. What made the library truly extraordinary, however, was its ethos of collaboration. Scholars lived and worked together within the Mausion, sharing meals, engaging in debates, and collaborating on projects. This environment fostered a spirit of camaraderie and mutual respect, enabling breakthroughs that would have been impossible in isolation. Figures like Archimedes, who corresponded with Alexandrian mathematicians, exemplify the far-reaching impact of this collaborative culture. Even those who never set foot in Alexandria felt its influence, as ideas generated within its walls spread throughout the Mediterranean and beyond. As historian Lionel Casson observed, the Library of Alexandria was not just a building filled with books, it was a machine for producing knowledge. Its inner workings reflect a profound commitment to understanding the natural world and humanity's place within it. Yet, beneath its surface lay tensions that mirrored broader societal struggles. Questions of ownership, access, and control simmered beneath the library's veneer of unity. Who decides what constitutes knowledge? Whose voices are included and excluded from the historical record? These questions remain relevant today, reminding us that the pursuit of truth is never neutral. In unraveling the library's inner workings, we gain insight into how it functioned as both a physical institution and a symbolic ideal. But what about its ultimate fate? How did this bastion of wisdom meet its end? And why does its loss continue to haunt our collective imagination? Let us now turn to the next chapter of our exploration, the myths and realities surrounding the library's destruction. The story of the Library of Alexandria's destruction is as much a tale of myth as it is of history. Popular narratives often depict a single catastrophic event, a great fire consuming centuries of accumulated knowledge in one fell swoop. Yet, historical evidence suggests that the library's decline was far more complex, spanning decades, if not centuries, of political instability, neglect, and shifting priorities. To understand its fall, we must untangle fact from fiction and examine how this once glorious institution met its end and why its loss continues to haunt our collective imagination. One of the most enduring legends attributes the library's destruction to Julius Caesar during his siege of Alexandria in 48 BCE. According to ancient historian Plutarch, Caesar ordered the burning of enemy ships docked at the harbor, but the flames inadvertently spread to nearby warehouses, storing scrolls destined for the library. While this account aligns with Caesar's admission of setting fire to the fleet, there is no definitive proof that the library itself suffered significant damage. Some scholars argue that only peripheral collections were affected, leaving the main repository intact. Even if Caesar's actions dealt a blow to the library, they were hardly its death knell. Over subsequent centuries, the institution faced repeated threats, both external and internal. During the Roman Empire's consolidation of power, funding for the Mausion dwindled, reducing its ability to attract scholars or maintain its vast collection. Political upheavals further destabilized Alexandria, transforming the city into a battleground where rival factions vied for control. Each conflict brought new risks to the library's survival, whether through deliberate destruction or collateral damage. Another oft-cited episode occurred under Emperor Aurelian in the mid-3rd century CE, when civil war erupted between Queen Zenobia of Palmyra and Roman forces. Historical records indicate that parts of Alexandria, including sections of the library, were destroyed during these clashes. By this time, however, the library's prominence had already begun to wane, overshadowed by newer centers of learning, such as Constantinople and Athens. Perhaps the most controversial account involves the Arab conquest of Egypt in 642 CE. According to some medieval sources, Caliph Omar allegedly ordered the remaining books in Alexandria burned, declaring them superfluous since they either agreed with the Quran and thus redundant, or contradicted it, and therefore false. However, modern historians dismiss this story as apocryphal, pointing out that no contemporary Muslim chroniclers mention such an event. Moreover, by the 7th century, the library likely existed only in fragments, having long ceased to function as a cohesive institution. What makes the library's fall particularly poignant is not just its physical destruction, but also the symbolic weight it carries. Its gradual erosion mirrors humanity's recurring struggle to preserve knowledge amid chaos and change. Time and again, we see patterns of loss followed by recovery, of forgetting giving way to rediscovery. The library's fate serves as both a cautionary tale and a testament to resilience, a reminder that while books may burn, ideas endure. Yet, the myth of a sudden dramatic collapse persists because it resonates deeply with our fears about impermanence. We imagine the library as a beacon of light extinguished in an instant, plunging civilization into darkness. This narrative appeals to our sense of tragedy, underscoring the fragility of progress and the ease with which wisdom can slip through our fingers. It also reflects a broader anxiety about the vulnerability of institutions tasked with safeguarding truth. Intriguingly, the library's legacy survived despite, or perhaps because of, its demise. Fragments of its collection found their way into other repositories, ensuring that portions of its knowledge endured. Scholars fleeing Alexandria carried precious texts to distant lands, spreading the seeds of Hellenistic thought across the Mediterranean and beyond. Works preserved in monastic libraries during Europe's Dark Ages laid the groundwork for the Renaissance, proving that even partial preservation could yield profound dividends. Modern reinterpretations of the library highlight its dual role as both victim and victor. On one hand, its destruction symbolizes humanity's capacity for self-sabotage, the tragic consequences of arrogance, greed, and short-sightedness. On the other hand, its memory inspires efforts to rebuild and innovate. Today, initiatives like UNESCO's Memory of the World program and digital archives such as Google Books echo the library's mission to democratize access to information. These endeavors remind us that the spirit of Alexandria lives on, even if its physical incarnation has faded. As researcher Lionel Casson aptly observed, the Library of Alexandria did not die so much as evolve. Its essence transformed over time, adapting to new contexts while retaining its core purpose, to illuminate the path toward understanding. Whether viewed as a cautionary tale or a source of inspiration, the library's story challenges us to confront uncomfortable truths about the cost of ignorance and the value of vigilance. But what lessons does the library hold for our future? In an age defined by rapid technological advancement and unprecedented access to information, how do we ensure that progress does not come at the expense of preservation? Let us now turn to our final chapter, where we explore the enduring relevance of the Library of Alexandria in the modern world. As a beacon of human achievement, yet its story is also a poignant reminder of the fragility of knowledge. Its legacy endures not only in the fragments of wisdom it preserved, but also in the lessons it imparts about the pursuit of truth, the importance of preservation, and the interconnectedness of human endeavor. As we reflect on its timeless significance, we must ask ourselves, what can the library teach us about safeguarding humanity's intellectual heritage in an age defined by rapid technological advancement and unprecedented access to information? At its core, the library's mission was profoundly democratic, at least within the context of its time. It sought to collect, preserve, and disseminate knowledge from every corner of the known world, transcending cultural and linguistic barriers. This ethos resonates deeply in our modern era, where digital archives and open access initiatives aim to make information universally available. Projects like the Internet Archive, Project Gutenberg, and Wikipedia echo the library's ambition to democratize learning, ensuring that no one is excluded from the shared inheritance of human thought. Yet these efforts also face challenges. Issues of misinformation, data privacy, and the commercialization of knowledge threaten to undermine their noble goals. The library reminds us that access alone is not enough. We must also cultivate critical thinking and ethical responsibility to ensure that knowledge serves the greater good. Beyond its practical contributions, the library offers profound philosophical insights. Its classification system, devised by Callimachus, underscores the importance of organization in making sense of complexity. Just as the Pinaques helped scholars navigate a vast sea of scrolls, modern tools like search engines and metadata frameworks enable us to sift through the overwhelming volume of digital content. However, this raises important questions about how we categorize and prioritize information. What biases shape our systems of classification? Whose voices are amplified, and whose are marginalized? The library challenges us to confront these issues with humility and rigor, recognizing that the way we structure knowledge reflects our values and priorities. Equally significant is the library's role as a bridge between civilizations. By housing texts from diverse cultures, Greek, Egyptian, Persian, Indian, and others, it fostered dialogue and mutual understanding across traditions. In today's globalized world, this vision remains as relevant as ever. As societies grapple with polarization and cultural divides, the library's example reminds us of the power of shared knowledge to unite humanity. Efforts to translate endangered languages, document indigenous wisdom, and promote cross-cultural education carry forward its mission of preserving and synthesizing global traditions. These endeavors honor the library's spirit of inclusivity, celebrating the richness of human diversity while affirming our common aspirations. Yet, perhaps the most enduring lesson of the library lies in its cautionary tale. Its gradual decline, a process marked by neglect, conflict, and shifting priorities, serves as a stark warning about the consequences of complacency. We live in an age where information is more accessible than ever before, yet paradoxically, it is also more vulnerable. Cyber attacks, censorship, and environmental disasters pose new threats to our collective memory, underscoring the need for vigilance and resilience. The library teaches us that knowledge is not self-sustaining. It requires constant care and stewardship to endure. This message resonates particularly strongly in fields like climate science, artificial intelligence, and genetic engineering, where progress carries both immense potential and significant risks. Just as the library's scholars balanced theoretical inquiry with practical application, so too must we approach innovation with wisdom and foresight. The library's alchemical experiments remind us that discovery is not an end in itself, but a means of improving the human condition. Similarly, breakthroughs in AI or biotechnology should be guided by ethical principles, ensuring they benefit all of humanity rather than exacerbating existing inequalities. In the realm of education, the library inspires us to reimagine how we nurture curiosity and creativity. Its vibrant community of scholars exemplifies the power of collaboration, mentorship, and interdisciplinary exchange. Modern institutions, from universities to research labs, can learn from this model, fostering environments where ideas flow freely and individuals feel empowered to push boundaries. Moreover, the library's emphasis on hands-on experimentation highlights the importance of experiential learning, encouraging students to engage directly with the world around them. Finally, the library's mythic status speaks to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Its imagined destruction continues to haunt our collective imagination, reminding us of what we stand to lose if we fail to protect our intellectual heritage. Yet, its memory also inspires hope, a testament to the resilience of ideas and the indomitable human spirit. Even in loss, there is renewal. Fragments of the library's collection found their way into other repositories, ensuring that portions of its wisdom survived. This cyclical pattern mirrors the rise and fall of civilizations, reflecting humanity's capacity to rebuild and innovate in the face of adversity. As historian Lionel Casson aptly observed, the Library of Alexandria did not die so much as evolve. Its essence lives on in every library, archive, and classroom dedicated to the pursuit of truth. It resides in the hearts of those who refuse to let ignorance prevail and who see in the past a foundation for the future. The library challenges us to expand our horizons, recognize the interconnectedness of all things, and embrace the transformative power of knowledge. Thank you for joining me on this journey through time and mystery. May the legacy of the Library of Alexandria continue to illuminate your path as you seek to understand the world and yourself.